Hey guys, this is Test 49 Game 1. This is the International Film Retrospective game. It's an ordering game. We know this because they tell us that there are 6 days, 1 through 6, with a different thing shown each day. So we're placing the films in order from 1 to 6. Now I've laid out a lot of rules here, but I'm going to explain all those. We have the 6 languages each twice. So 2 F's, 2 G's, 2 H's, 2 I's, 2 N's, and 2 T's. They tell us that neither day 2 nor day 4 has N, so N is not 2 and N is not 4. They tell us that I is not shown unless N is shown the following day, meaning that whenever we have I, we will have IN in a box, meaning when we have IN in that order consecutively. So because N can never be 2 or 4, I can never be 1 or 3. Also, we know that I cannot be 6, because then how could we have N coming after it? Finally, G is not shown unless I is shown immediately after it, and we know that whenever we have I, we have IN. Therefore, whenever we have G, we will have GIN occurring consecutively in that order. So because I cannot be 3, G cannot be 2. And we can't have G on 5 or 6 because we wouldn't be able to fit IN coming after it consecutively. So these are our rules for the game, a bunch of conditionals, and then the restrictions that result from those conditionals, as well as the restriction that N cannot be on 2 or 4 due to the first rule of the game. So this right here is our initial setup for the game. Now question number 1 is a typical orientation question. Just take one rule at a time and apply that rule to all 5 choices looking for violations. So we know that we can never have, counting off I, N, I, N, G, I. Yeah, G can't be there, or 2 or 6 either, but this is very easy to hold in your head. I, N, I, N, G, I. So check that through all 5 choices. We find that choices A and B both have I on 3, which is unacceptable, so for that reason, both A and B can automatically be eliminated. We also know that whenever we have I, we will have N immediately following it, so look for violations of that as well. We find that choice D violates this, having I on 4, but then having F on 5 rather than N, so D is gone. We're now down to C and E, and we have the rule that G requires GIN, so checking for violations of that, we find that choice C violates this, having GNI rather than GIN, so for that reason C is gone, leaving E by elimination for number 1. Next, number 2, if 2 Italian films were shown, one on day 2 and one on day 5. So right now I'm going to put down I on 2 and I on 5, and of course I requires IN, so we're going to have N on 3 and on 6. Now they're asking us, the film on day 1 can be anything except. So of course 1 can't ever be I, but we've already got our 2 I's here, and I's not even a choice. So what else could this be? I mean, it could be any of the others, really, except for the fact that we've already used the 2 I's and the 2 N's, so neither I nor N can go again a third time, so for that reason, choice D, N, is our answer to number 2. Next, number 3, if we had 2 I's that were shown. So of course, if we have 2 I's, we're going to have 2 N's. And we know that I requires N, so it's really going to be IN and then IN going again. So 2 IN boxes for this question. And IN, it's very limited, where those INs can go. We could have IN on 2 and 3, we could have IN on 4 and 5, or on 5 and 6. So I would initially start thinking about 3 different possibilities about the placements of I and N. We could have, again, IN on 2, 3, IN on 4, 5 is possible. We could have IN on 2, 3, and IN on 5, 6. Or we could have IN on 3, 4, but no, we can't because IN's never on 3, 4. So these are actually, IN has to be on 2, 3. There's really nowhere else that it could go and have us fit 2 boxes of that type because IN can't be 1, 2, or 3, 4. So that leaves 2, 3, and then 4, 5, or 5, 6. So either way, we know that nothing else could ever be on 3 other than N, and choice A is suggesting that something else goes there. So for that reason, A is impossible and is our answer to number 3. Next, number 4, a complete and accurate list of places that I could go. So I can't go on 1, I can't go on 3, and I can't go on 6. So that basically just leaves 2, 4, and 5, and there's no reason that I couldn't go on any of those in various scenarios. We just saw back from question number 3 that we could have had I on 2 and then I on 4 or 5 as well. So a complete list of places that I could go is 2, 4, 5. B. Next, number 5, if we had two F's on one on 3 and one on 5. So I'll put down F on 3 and then put down F on 5 as well. Run through the choices, doesn't really lead to anything in particular here. So what could be the films on 1 and 6? Well, we know F can't go again, so A is gone for that reason. We know that G would require GIN due to the last rule of the game, so we can't have G on 1 here in this case because then we would need I on 2 and N on 3, but F is already on 3, so B is gone. We know that we could never have IN on 1 and 2 because N never goes on 2, so for that reason C is gone, which I on 1 would suggest N on 2. And then next looking at D, N on 1, T on 6, no problems there, works perfectly fine, so D is our answer to 5. I will look at E though, and E saying G on 6, but G never goes on 6 due to the GIN rule, so E's gone, leaving D. Next, number 6, if neither F nor I were shown, so if we don't have F and if we don't have I. Of course, if we don't have I, we're not going to have G because G requires I, so that's essentially the contrapositive. G is eliminated as well. And if we're not having any of F, I, or G, it means that we're going to have H, N, and T as our films, each of which goes 3 times in this case. And we know that N cannot be on 2 or 4, meaning that we're going to have H and T going on 2 and 4. We don't know which one's which. Maybe they're both H's or both T's for all we know. But we do know that 2 and 4 have to be occupied by either H or T, giving us the real only inference we get from the question stem here, which gives us straight to choice E, either H or T on 2, choice E. Next, number 7, if G was going sometime after N, meaning, of course, N were before G, and we know that G requires GIN occurring consecutively by way of the I rule, so really N is before this huge box right here. So we have, the first N in the sequence followed by the second N in the sequence, and we know that the first N can never go in any of 4, 5, or 6 because then we wouldn't have room for the GIN box coming after it. Therefore, the first N will have to go on either 1 or 3. So 2 different possibilities for that, N on 1 versus N on 3. And of course, if N were on 3, we'd have GIN on 4, 5, or 6. 4, 5, and 6 right there. And if N were on 1, well, GIN's a bit more open-ended just based on not violating the restrictions here. So they're asking us, when must N go? Well, N could go on 6 on the bottom possibility, but doesn't have to in the top possibility, so it's not really a must. But N will definitely go on either 1 or on 3, so leading us to choice D is our answer for number 7.